Nyedis Breachcast, the world's first identity management app made exclusively for identity experts and product owners, is available in the iOS App Store now. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nyedis Anarchy Series. I'm your host Adam, CIO and co-founder of Nyedis, and today we're going to talk about how the US government is going to try to put in guardrails to protect us all against AI. That's not going to work. So here's the deal. The current administration says they're going to come up with a great solution on how to protect us all from AI, and everything that they're working on. First off, let me just preface this. Everything that they're doing right now is going to expire at the end of the term, which is in 2 months. So I really don't understand what the hell they're doing.
Not technically January.
January 6th.
Yeah, so
it's going to expire in 2 months and 12 days. So 2.5 months. Is that better?
You can say whatever.
It's gonna make zero difference either way. So the absurdity of the government trying to tell us how AI should work is hilarious. And this is really what I wanted to talk about, which is that the government should not be in charge of telling not the world or us or companies, people, citizens, whatever, how to use AI and how to develop AI and what we can and can't do with it, because they don't have a clue what's going on. They'll never will have a clue what's going on. And I'm not just saying this administration, I'm saying all administrations. I'm not trying to be political here. I'm saying the government has no clue what they're doing. They're way too slow. If you just saw the podcast about how everything's moving so lightning fast, you think the federal government of any country could possibly keep up with that? Impossible. So these guardrails that they're trying to put in place are supposed to protect us for like crazy situations of like completely autonomous weaponry to just go off and just nuke Russia or something just because it feels like it wants to. So they want to have some type of guardrails to make sure that never happens. So here's the problem with that. We're already doing it. I mean, there's completely autonomous drones. Okay, sure, people are flying it, but it's doing pretty much everything on its own. There's probably a kill switch to kill it and turn itself off. But let's talk about where we're going to be. I mean, just look, if we take Anthropic's computer use, where the AI has complete control over the computer, and then you think you're in control of that AI to do something. Case in point, Pliny was just messing around, and thankfully he was in a virtual environment, but it just completely killed itself. RMRF star done. Just wiped itself out inadvertently. So it could actually do that because AI is not that crystal clear on how it generates its information or the results that it's going to give. It hallucinates. It comes up with weird crap that just runs with it for some reason. So if you give it control to do something, it's very possible it could figure out a way around the guardrails and accidentally hit the button and nuke somebody, and we would have no idea. So it's nice thought that they want to try and protect us all, but those are the wrong people. What we really need are really smart people that absolutely understand AI, that understand the development factors, where it's going, and these people should come together and create some type of a consortium that doesn't create rules and regulations and say what you can and can't do, because that will never work. That's like banning heroin because you don't like drugs. People are still going to do heroin. It doesn't matter if you ban them, it's still going to happen. So if you're like, oh, you can't do this with AI, they're still going to do it. And if you say this country can't do it, like look what the EU is doing, right? So the EU is banning certain things in AI throughout the EU because they don't understand it and they're afraid and they don't want things to go wrong. So what's happening? The rest of the world is getting these AI benefits. And I'm talking just like, I just downloaded the iOS 18.2 developer beta release. So now I have the AI built into my phone that I can use for all kinds of stuff. And it integrates with ChatGPT just with, hey Siri, can you interact with ChatGPT? I'm not Siri, but I'm here to help. While I can't interact directly with Siri, I'm designed to respond to your requests and assist you with information tasks and more right here. What do you need help with? This is from ChatGPT right from my phone. So the EU doesn't get that. Oh, wow. So now what's going to happen is countries that do have that, people that do have that, are just going to skyrocket past everyone else that doesn't have it. So as much as the government wants to put regulations and rules in place, it won't matter. People are going to do illegal shit. Other countries where it's not illegal are going to excel and use it and run faster. Companies that have it are just going to decimate countries that don't have it. Companies that use it are going to make way more money and then completely destroy the financial market for the other companies that don't have it. So you can sit there and try to ban things. It's not going to do anything besides inhibit you and cause problems. Now, if we can get some really smart people, like let's get the head of NVIDIA and X and OpenAI and Anthropic, let's get all those really smart people together, and not necessarily the head of them, but maybe like the head engineers or the people that are really passionate and actually know the core stuff of what's going on under the hood, and develop something like the W3 consortium, right? Like the W3C, kind of like not necessarily rules and regulations, but more of a standards, best practice. Hey, let's kind of all agree to something. And I know like Musk and a couple other guys, they started doing something like this, but it never really became official, and they tried to advise the government on stuff. But we really need something of a worldwide, hey, these are the super smart people, bring in more smart people in other industries so we know how it's going to affect the industries, and have kind of this talks and understanding of, hey, this is what we should do, and here's what we shouldn't do, and here's why, and kind of have, because when you have that understanding, it's a lot easier to not do something, right? Like anytime someone tells me, hey, don't do that, the first thing I want to do is do it. So if you say, hey, you shouldn't do that, and here's why, now I'm going to be like, okay, maybe I'm not going to do that, right? So the only thing they're going to do is put in penalties, say, hey, if your thing does this, then this happens to you, which is just going to prevent you from wanting to do it because you're afraid it's ever going to do it, because no one wants that liability or that risk, but someone's going to. So if the large companies aren't, like the Raytheons and whatever, aren't going to have fully autonomous drones that have the ability to drop bombs directly on their own, some other company in China is going to, and then they're going to sell that tech to, I don't know, Cambodia or something. I'm just picking up countries at random. And now what? Those things are going to super excel. They may cause problems. The Tesla cars, they accidentally run over people with their autonomous driving, but they're still safer than human drivers. So at what point do you just have to blindly trust the AI and be like, hey, you know what? It's going to be better than me. Let's hope this thing's good. I don't have the answer. I am not the super smart person that should be part of this AI consortium, the AIC. I am a person that would love to read what comes out of it and listen to the talks given at it. Like, what we need is like a TED talk of the super smart AI people explaining where the boundaries should be and why, and then cool papers come out that we can all read and understand, and then kind of have all the big developers say, hey, look, these are the restrictions that we should impose on ourselves because of these reasons, and then because of that we can develop it in a nice, good way. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm not saying I do, but I know the government telling us what to do is absolutely the wrong idea. So I'm curious what your thoughts are. If you're a super smart AI person, which is, there's a ton of you out there, most of you are smarter than me on this topic for sure. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Does anyone actually think the government, any government, I'm not just talking ours or this regime or whatever, I'm talking any government anywhere, do you think any of them actually have any understanding or could possibly have any benefit with any type of restriction or regulation on AI? I don't think so, but I'm really curious on your thoughts. So let me know in the comments, and let's talk about it. Later. Nyedis has just created the first iOS app made exclusively for identity management professionals. It's called Nyedis Breachcast, and you can download it now. It's amazing. We have real-time updates of all the latest breaches that are occurring, CVEs as they come out real-time, really pertaining just to identity management. We have media that's going on this podcast. We're going to be bringing in a lot more others as well. And we even have a complete vendor list of all the identity management vendors and all their products, so you can find out exactly where to download their software, all the documentation. And what's even more awesome is an identity management glossary. All those crazy words and acronyms that we can never remember, they're all listed in there for you. No ads, just pure information to make your life simple.